How's it going, everybody? Denver.Bites.Fishing here. With all this coronavirus stuff going on, gotta stay away from outside. I was honestly sick for like the first 3 weeks of the year, 4 weeks, and then a little time off, and then got sick again. So it's been tough. I want everybody to realize that this is a real deal, man. I've had people who've lost, family members and friends and whatnot. And it's a real deal. When you start seeing your celebrities go, that's when people are like, what? So we'll see if people actually understand that this is a real thing or not. Here in Denver, we're kind of on lockdown. Not supposed to really go do anything. If we do, we're supposed to have masks and stuff on the outside. So we're kind of hunkered down home. I've taken the time to kind of get my little area here kind of settled up so that I can get going on some more videos, at least from home. It's been kind of hard, like I said, lately due to being sick. And I don't want to be on camera sick when your voice is kind of weird and crackly and crazy. No one really wants to listen to that, you know what I mean? Now, I figured I would go ahead and do, as you would see probably in the title below, some sort of rod arsenal video. So I'm going to go through my rods. Obviously, a lot of people are going to think it's excessive. I even kind of think it's excessive as well. But I will be honest about one thing. That is, I have not paid full price for any of my rods or reels that I currently have. In the past I had, and that was because I was using certain different brands or companies or purchased them at other places. But at the moment, I have no rod that I have paid full price for. So it can be done. Companies do offer things, and I'm going to get going here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll get started on kind of some of the things I have. My setups, first and foremost, are predominantly a Cast King. I'll be real about that. I had used many other big brands. People will say brand X just to say it, but I've used other brands, and not have I necessarily had problems with the other brands. I mean, I've had issues with some reels and rods, but it's not necessarily problems that's causing me to stray. It's a few things like customer service, a few things like just wear and tear, just simple wear and tear. And then also some things as far as price. Like I said, I don't want to pay full price for anything, let alone fishing stuff. It's like my favorite thing in the world to do, but I don't want to pay full price. Once upon a time, those MFers northeast, I guess, from here, he put out a video, Mr. Milliken Fishing. He put out a video and he stated it completely true, which is, people are manufacturing boats that don't cost, $100,000. They don't cost $40,000 to make, and they're pricing it to that point. So at this point, I wanted to go with a company that kind of believes that same kind of thought process, and that's why I use Cast King. They make quality products at this point. I know people have had problems with them in the past. Even I had problems with them in the past. Went and dabbled around elsewhere, circled around back. Not the same company it was when I first started. I'll guarantee you that. Which is why all my stuff is kind of that now. But I just wanted to kind of go with a company that, was going to support what I wanted to do, would listen to me. I've even had some hand in some product testing that I can, let my input on, which is pretty amazing. And that's just being a consumer. At this current time, I'm not affiliated or associated or sponsored by. I don't have promo codes. I don't have anything like that. I'm just an average guy who wants to fish, and this is what I chose to do it with. So, that's what I'm doing. And now that we're ridiculously long into this stupid video, sorry guys, I'll let you kind of go ahead and see what I've got. So like I said, I'm going to start at the bottom of the column, and then I'll work my way up. So what have I got here? The first one I'm going to go with, had to write it down because, you get older. Shut up. So the other company that I actually really support and like, and You know, some people like or don't, but again, they're huge in the fishing industry, and they're located here in Denver, and that is Eagle Claw / Wright & McGill. Super great company, great people, love the people. I go and have the chance to visit their showroom, their store here, and talk to them all the time. I have ice gear and stuff, maybe that I can put in another video, but that I absolutely love my stuff from them as well. Predominant hooks are Trokar, Eagle Claw, so that's just kind of how that goes. But first up is a setup that is the rare to, I guess, what the United States would see now as the KastKing Spartacus. Comes in a 6:3-to-1 gear ratio, and this is on a Wright & McGill Eagle Claw 7.4 medium heavy skeet reese jig and worm rod. This is actually my dedicated Texas rig rod, but I really appreciate the fact that it's just bright. People hate bright stuff. I like the bright stuff too, because you know what? Now I know 100% this is my jig and worm rod, right? And what does it have on it? Texas rig. I know right away this is only going to have my Texas rig, which right now has a Zoom Lizard on. So first up, KastKing Spartacus with the Wright & McGill 7.4 medium. Next up is going to be the Carolina rig. Like I said before, I really like my KastKing stuff, so I definitely appreciate and love these. These are the Speed Demon Pro rods. Brent Chapman, part of the Major League Fishing, is a user and designer of these rods, and I guarantee you once you use them, you will be impressed. Honestly, I've had these next to, up against, alongside, hand in hand with my loose rods, my Abu rods, which, you know, I'll be honest, I have either sold or I still have. And guess what? If I have them, they're spares, they're down in the basement, they're not getting used, or they're broken, or something happened. I'm here where I want to be with what I have, and this is what I have. So this is going to be the Carolina rig version. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. Carolina rig 7.6. This is going to be the medium heavy with a fast action tip. What I really like about this rod is the fact that you do have the length on it. You can really sling the Carolina rig out there. Everyone knows you have to have that leader line. You have the weights, so you have to have a little bit of length to be able to get that lure from the rod tip out to wherever you need to go. Not only that, the sensitivity is phenomenal. Just every little tick-tick, anything you feel, every little bit of anything you feel it, which is phenomenal. I've got that paired with the Speed Demon Pro, which is the 9:3-to-1 gear ratio. But that is paired with the Speed Demon Pro. Again, all of my rods, reels, everything is going to have a KastKing line on them. I've used Power Pro, P-Line, all the other ones, and I'm guarantee you that there is nothing major that really separates a lot of them. And I will be real, the one thing that separates KastKings more than anything is the fact that it's durable, dependable, use it over and over and over, and guess what? A lot of times, just for buying a product, I get it free. Crazy. Isn't that crazy? You get something back for buying something, you get product and like customer service. That's pretty amazing. So that was the Carolina rig. I think next I'm going to go ahead and do my Ned rig setup. And this is not a KastKing product. And this is because people are probably going to be a little weirded out by this because, well, if you follow a couple different circles, you might know what it is, but you might not. This is a Serenoia XF50. This is a BFS, bait finesse reel, okay? This is throwing my Ned rigs, which is typically thrown for a lot of people, I guess, on a spinning setup. I don't really like spinning reels anymore. It was that thing, like, you know, you had your dad's reel, it was a spinning reel or something. As soon as I got a hand on a bait cast reel, I was like, I graduated. I'm a man now. You know? And so I was like, okay, that's what I do now. So, sorry, that's just the way I feel about it. I like bait cast setups. This is thrown on a custom 6.7 rod. This is a medium light tipped rod, and so this thing really slings it out there with the BFS setup. I have a very light, a very shallow spool, I mean, and it's very light, but it's also thrown on 4 pound copolymer. So it is very light setup. Other than the XF50, I'm not a fan of that heaviness, to be real. I switched out my handle. I don't like the grips that came on it, so I put different ones on it. It had metal aluminum handles, which is kind of weird. But this is a, what is this? It's I think a 6 gear ratio on the Serenoia. I have it somewhere. But this is my Ned rig setup. So cool, such a good go-to, and to be honest, that little Ned rig, like 1/10 ounce on that 4 pound on a bait caster with this guy, I sling it. I've seen people just be like, here's my BFS setup, 20 feet, awesome. This thing frickin' slings it. Casking, make a BFS reel. That's what I'm saying to you. Next in that setup, let's go ahead on to, okay, a little bit different, but also on the bottom of the column. If you're also in a very shallow pond or something that you're able to use a John boat, then go ahead and use something like this too. That is a square bill. It is a killer. Square bills might be some of my favorite things to throw, especially here in Denver, because legitimately every time I go out with a square bill, I feel like I just slay them. So crankbaits are the way to go in my opinion. That's kind of, I love crankbaits in general. But let me show you my square bill setup. This is probably my favorite setup that I have. This is the Speed Demon Pro again. Oh my gosh, this thing is so light. So light. The 6/8 square bill cranking. Probably upside down to you. Sorry about that. But it's a medium and moderate. And I will be real with you, anytime you're throwing any crankbait style, anything, whether it's a deep diver, and you have a rod that's not thinking you're gonna be able to handle it. Anytime we're throwing anything that is a crankbait, moderate action tip is the way to go. Fast action, you can get along with it, but the only one that I will say that needs a fast action, that I like a fast action with, is the lipless crank. So square bill. Right now I've got the KVD Sexy Shad on there. And the Bassinator, this is the 8 1-to-1, super fast, so I can just burn that down there, hitting some rocks. And again, guys, you want to be throwing that on something where it's going to have kind of a harder bottom. The reason that this is made is so that it like tick, 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 tick on the bottom, so it just smashes that bottom, drives those fish crazy, and then they basically just gulp it up. And you can never go wrong with any KVD bait out there, I guarantee you. All of them are made to be great stuff. So no, again, not sponsored by Strike King or anything like that. If y'all want to, I'm open. But great reel, great rod. This thing, whenever I get the opportunity, will be the replacement for every reel in my setup. The Bassinator. It seems simplistic, it looks simplistic, it's Cast King. Best reel I've ever owned in my life. Fantastic. Alright, square bill. On to the next. Sorry, I've got old man nose hairs. My wife keeps telling me to trim them, and they keep messing with me, probably because it keeps touching my mustache, so she's right. Hear that, honey? You're right. I need to take the rod stock off. But this is my 710 deep crankbait. And yes, the reason why, again, I stick with these, rod specific, they can do so many different things. And I don't have a dedicated topwater. I don't have a dedicated, whopper popper, or I don't have a dedicated, popper or anything like that. My topwater dedicated rod for those things is the same one that I use for my big swim bait. So you'll see that in a little bit. But this one is the 710 deep crankbait. Also a Cast King Speed Demon Pro rod. These wing grips are they're so amazing. And this is a 710 and this rod is still light. I've got a big old Norman deep dive crankbait on there. At the moment, I've got a Cast King Spartacus Maximus. I would like to have that capstan, but not my wheelhouse at the moment. So I'm rocking this Spartacus Maximus. It's a lower 6 gear ratio. It's 6:3 to 1, just like the other Spartacus, but it still gets the job done, especially for those deep cranks. This Norman is a 17, I think. Yeah, 11 to 17 diver, and it needs to get down there. This guy definitely helps get it down there. It's 6:3 to 1, a little fast, but it still gets it down there. Still in the strike zone, still able to get some bites. That moderate tip is going to give you that parabolic bend that you need on the rod and allow you to hold and drive in those nice, beautiful hooks. All in all, if you need a big, long rod for a deep diving crankbait setup, don't look anywhere else. It even has like the name on it because it's for it. I guarantee you the reason why it is because it is. This is the best rod I have for deep crankbaits ever. I used to use a shorter, I think 7.4 or 7.3, and it just wasn't doing the job. It was also a fast tip, so that didn't really do any work for me either. But I loved this rod. Okay, so I guess next, jig setup. Again, jig, I kind of like a fast rod, or fast rod. I like a fast rod, but never mind. But you hold a bait caster like this too. Just kidding. Okay, so this is the 7.2 Speed Demon, the original Speed Demon bass rod. This one is actually a phenomenal jig rod. So I haven't ever had to need or upgrade up to the Speed Demon Pro one, but I really like this rod. This is going to be my dedicated jig rod right now. I have a pepper baits on there with a little Paca net bait chunk on there. Speed Demon rod, or reel, God, reel, did it again. Speed Demon reel, the original Speed Demon. Again, I've done the carbon fiber upgrade on the handle. I just like the fact that it does drop a little bit of the weight, and honestly, I've never had a problem with durability. People can talk what they want. Never had a problem. Pulled some pretty big guys myself. Okay. As you've probably noticed as well, I do have reel grips on the majority of my reels. I really love them. If it's not cork handled, I usually use reel grips. I like EVA, but for some reason, I don't know, it's not my deal. Sorry guys, I just didn't jump on that EVA train. So I usually use the reel grips. I really like these. They actually work phenomenally. Again, this rod is it's great. Medium power, fast action tip. Gonna pull those guys down from the bottom. Nice, nice, nice. So now, like I said, I think we're gonna move and jump down to my gray area in the middle of the column kind of stuff. So we'll go to what can kind of drop down there. So let's go to my dedicated weightless setup. So this is for like my weightless worms, weightless craws, anything that's going to be on the EWG weightless kind of, or weightless, EWG weedless, like Texas rig style hook. This is going to be my Cast King Stealth. This is the 7:0 gear ratio, 7:0 to 1. So nice and fast if I need it. Also, this is on my Cast King Black Hawk. I know it's a travel rod. People, again, might not have liked them, and I didn't really at first because I didn't like how the guide's kind of set up, but I don't ever have a need to break it down really, and I have a truck that can hold it, and a car that can hold it, and a van can hold it, whatever you want to call them. So I mean, I can take it with me, so I leave it extended. I don't have an issue with it. I love it, especially for the weightless. It's easy. It's a nice, light little setup. The stealth is super light. It balances well. I just really like it. No grip handles. I know. I took them off and put them on something else, but maybe I'll have to get them back on there. But 7:0 to 1 stealth. Black Hawk 2. This is going to be a 7.3 medium heavy. Like I said, it's a medium heavy, but if you own one of these Black Hawk 2s, I think you understand just the same as I that the tips are a little softer than what they may say. So it's in between fast action and a moderate fast tip. Standard crankbait. Okay, so here's my crankbait setup. Again, on a Speed Demon bass rod, not the Speed Demon Pro. This has, looks like the Berkeley Bad Shad. Not a bad that bad, you know, crankbait, but it works well. On this guy, definitely want that nice low gear ratio. So I have the Royale Legend 2, the new updated version, in the 5:4:1, I believe. Yeah, 5:4:1 gear ratio. This is on a 7-foot medium moderate rod. This thing is a hoss. Again, like I said, crankbait, square bait, all my favorite type of fishing. So I put this one through some work, and this one I love very much. So that is that guy. Chatterbait. Again, chatterbaits are cool because you have that ability to put at the bottom of the column, very on the bottom, hit that ground, that dirt, kick it up a little bit, bring it up back, you know, swim it back up to you. Pretty awesome. This is gonna be on the Speed Demon Pro. It's gonna be on the Chatterbait rod. I think yeah, this is 7.3 moderate fast medium rod. Awesome. Again, this, what I like about it, it does this, like oh gosh, it's amazing. So that as soon as you feel that tick, you're like, oh, here it comes, it's here, and you can just load up, and that bend on the rod is phenomenal. And as always, of course, is Z-Man Chatterbait. I mean, every bait company is trying to make their own or make a different one. Z-Man, I mean, they bought the original Rad Baits, I think is what it was called, and made it into the Chatterbait that is the Z-Man owned Chatterbait that we know. Cool story about the Chatterbait. When they first heard it, they said it sounded like teeth. Now it's being Chatterbait. Cool tip. This is going to be thrown in my Spartacus. Not my preferred reel for this rod, to be real, but it works. I like the fact that the parabolic bend between the rod can allow that bend, and for me to reel, I reel fast, by the way, to kind of catch up and be able to do it swiftly without having a lot of pull. This is good when I'm trying to shore fish. I don't use this reel on this rod if I'm throwing a chatterbait from a boat, and I'll be real. And that is because if I am on the shore and I have the chance to pull in a fish and I'm having an issue trying to reel in a fish and it's trying to, you know, come at me too quick, when you're on land, you have the ability to hopefully, depending on where you are, step back, pull the fish in. You can take up line too. So what you're doing is you're stepping back and you're trying to get line in at the same time and allowing your reel to almost essentially be a little faster than it is. So I like this when I'm actually shore fishing, not necessarily when I'm on a boat fishing, but guaranteed it does the job either way. I've done it on both. But this is the Spartacus Plus. I love this reel. The subtle blue accents on the covers, it's fantastic. I love these big grips. I don't know, big fan, just saying. All right, let's move to the next one. Spinnerbait, 7-foot, medium power, fast action tip, which is fantastic. Again, that kind of helps you out too if you have a little bit slower gear ratio, so I do like that too. But this is going to be Mega Jaws. First time I'm showing you guys the Mega Jaws on here. I have my cork covered up, but I had the real grips and they matched the rod so well, I just wanted to do it. The Mega Jaws, I switched the accents over from the other one, so it has the silver, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, spinnerbait. I think on this one, I think this is the Lunker Hunt. Not quite sure. I believe it's the Lunker Hunt. But it's got the big dual blades, and you notice how it has one of pretty much each, the Willow and the Colorado. So that's kind of an awesome thing as well. Nothing bad to say about it. Again, great reel, nice and durable, efficient, and it is able to pull the line in as you need. This is the big guy, my big guy. 7.6 extra heavy power, fast action Royale Legend rod. Coupled with the Casking Rover, this guy has done some absolute work. This is in a nice 5:4:1, I believe, gear ratio. Great for those bottom stuff. Also pulling catfish, good stuff with this. So durable, nice big spool so you can get some stuff on there. But looks like I've got the Savage Gear bluefish or bluegill bluefish bait on there. Like I said, this is kind of my multiple setup. I throw a lot of things on this guy. This will house multiple things, poppers and such from time to time. It just kind of depends on what I'm throwing. The extra fast, or the fast action on it kind of helps. Plus, I don't use these big swim baits all the time, so it's easier for me to switch this combo out, replace the reel with something faster, make it easier. Punching, flipping. 7-Eleven punching rod, Speed Demon Pro. It's got the Royale Legend, the 9 or the 8 1-to-1 gear ratio on there as well. Reel grips, carbon fiber handle. This rod and reel combo is pretty sweet. I was gonna put a Bassinator on there. It's got the same setup, and to me, honestly, a Bassinator is basically a Royale Legend, just with an aluminum frame and kind of a couple other little tweaks. So in my opinion, I really like it. I like the fact that it's nice and small, pretty light, good setup to just burn and pull them in. Yes, I probably have a weird setup for most people. 2 of the 1/2 inch weights or the 1/2 ounce weights. The ones that I had, I've now lost. I didn't have access to get more. So I'm rolling with what I got. Sometimes you've just got to do that, and guess what? I'll still catch fish. I really like this setup. Looks like I think this is the missile. I think it's the Missile Baits, Missile Destroyer. Can't remember the exact name on it, but great little combo there. So some of you who follow MLF fishing know some names, or may not. But Cliff Crochet has signed on with Cast King. Like I said, I'm already a follower of Cast King. I already like the products. Personally, I hadn't known so much about the Cajun Baby, but now I know a whole bunch about him because I like him. He's a great guy. Met him in person, talked to him plenty. Fantastic human being. Love his rods, probably even more. I just need to catch my PB on it, and I'll be loving it even more. This is the Cast King Sprawl. Sorry, I don't want to mispronounce that. It's a Sprawl rod. This is a true IM8, and it's hooked up with the Bassinator as well, the Bassinator Elite, the 8 1-to-1. Again, this is on the same kind of bait that you just saw. This thing's a monster. Again, I just can't wait to catch my PB on it because that's going to be sweet. Maybe I'll put a little diagram up with it. But the Sprawl rod is pretty unique in the fact that it has guides that actually churn around the rod to take all of the line off of the rod to kind of allow it to be a lot more free, and the sensitivity should be a lot better. So great rod. I'm ready to like I said, pull in a monster with that guy. Okay, lipless cranks. Again, lipless. I really want a faster reel on this one. Again, someday Fascinators are going on everything if I can. But this is the Perigee 2, the 7-1 medium power fast action. Pretty cool rod, actually. For the price that you get these rods, these things are phenomenal. These are Japanese Torii carbon blanks, so they're very strong and they're super cool looking, actually. I mean, black, silver. I'm sure if you have a reel of some kind, depending on whatever it is, you might have black and silver reel. So you've also got the Cast King Crixus. This is the standard Crixus, not the Plus or the Armor X. But this one is going to be into the 6-5 gear ratio, 6-5-to-1 gear ratio. Again, just solid little reel, great rod. Nothing bad to say about any of those things at all. I really like that one. Lipless is right on that wavelength of what I love to throw. You hit that fall lipless fight and you're gonna be ecstatic. I forgot I was wearing my broken glasses. My baby pulled off my glasses, broke one of the sides, and now I have broken glasses. So I just noticed that I have my monitor here showing me what I'm doing. Frog and roll. But this is my frog setup. Right now I think I have the Doomsday, is what they're called, the Doomsday frog. Mega jaws on this guy. This is going to be my 9 1-to-1. Burn it. Just burn it. Burn it. I love frogging. Most of you might think frogging is just for a specific time of day or for a specific time of year. You can find frogfish almost all the time. There's always frogs. You can do something, as long as you got decent weather. This is going to be my jerkbait setup on the Crixus Armor X. Ooh, aluminum frame, beautiful Armor X, fantastic reel. Love the Crixus, so I had to look at the Armor X. Camo braid, pretty awesome. Casking or camo copolymer. Sorry. This is actually on a square bill Crankin 6.8. The 610 has a little harder tip and it's a little longer. The 6.8 with moderate tip, personally, I like for jerkbaits. I think it's awesome for jerkbaits and a moderate tip, because to me, when I have a moderate tip and I have anything with those treble hooks, I'm going to get that bend, I'm going to get it to drive, I'm going to pull it on in, and you can still get that whipping action. Nice fast setup with the Crixus. Definitely pulls it. You can do it yourself. Not recommended, to be honest. I know some people especially say, you know, you just flip your reel, but I hate, you know, taking my hand off the reel. I don't want any chance of me taking my hand off the reel, just hitting it like this, and then get that bite, and then have to do this and fumble with it. I don't want to miss a bite for that. I want to keep it on. If I do it, I'll do a quick little whine, I'll hold it, do it small, tick, tick. It just depends on what you're doing. But find a good pattern. I think, you know, everyone has YouTube videos on what you should do, what you can do, but little ticks. Usually like a tick, tick, pause, tick, pause, tick, tick, tick. Like, come up with your own arrangement. What works really well is do like a tick, 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 pause, tick, pause, tick, tick, pause. Alright everybody, that was the end of the video. Unfortunately my GoPro overheated again right at the end of the jerkbait, and that was the end of my rod and reel setups. Pretty sure I went through everything anyway. Gone through some of the edits, looking at everything looks pretty good. Sorry about the extremely long video. Just is what it is. Like I said, I have spinning setups and other things that we can go through. I'll make some more videos. If you have any questions or comments about anything that I've shown you, just put them down below. I'll go ahead and I'll answer you. No problem, I'm sure. Yeah. As always, everybody, stay safe. Stay home, I guess, during this time as well. As always, keep them biting.